I've been wanting to make unserious SpongeBob videos for a while now. And a few weeks ago, I saw a post that kind of mentioned the fact that Plankton and SpongeBob have kind of been on good terms recently. I can't find it for the life of me, but it made me kind of want to do a deep dive into their relationship because ever since the second movie, these two have kind of been friends.
Just look for any destruction and follow it to the virus, sweetheart.
Got it, honey.
Let's discuss. First of all, if you thought this was a shipping video, I purposely framed it that way to see how many comments I could get of people reacting to the title without watching. That shit is so annoying. Do you people not know what a hook is? Shame on you. But before we get into it, I want to briefly talk about Modern Spongebob because assuming most of my viewers are close to my age, then you're probably already familiar with classic SpongeBob, so there's no real reason to go and analyze those episodes too hard. Let me get something straight. Classic SpongeBob is untouchable. Had the series ended in 2004 as intended, I could comfortably call it one of the best cartoons of all time. I understand that a lot of people don't like seasons 6 through 8 all that much, and yeah, those seasons are the weakest ones. I wouldn't go out of my way to watch them, but I don't viscerally hate them either, aside from a few standout awful episodes. Season 9 is better, and Season 10 onward is what I would personally classify as Modern Spongebob. That's kind of when the character models, animation, humor, and writing started to noticeably pivot. Listen, Modern Spongebob will never be able to match the quality of the classic era, and trust me, they've been actively trying. At this point, Modern Spongebob has become a spin-off of itself, and you know what? It's a good spin-off. You definitely would have to have an open mind in order to enjoy it, and trust me, I used to be a hater. But after hearing a lot of people point out the positives and accepting that there's nothing we can do about Nick milking the series for all it's worth, I've changed my stance on this. I don't go out of my way to watch the newer seasons, but if they're on, I won't complain.
Lemonade for sale!
Like I said, this writing in Season 10 onward kind of pivoted from the show's original premise, and I want to talk about how SpongeBob and Plankton's relationship has changed in the modern era. We're only going to be talking about the main series. I'm not touching Camp Coral or The Patrick Show. SpongeBob is popular enough that I don't think I have to describe their relationship in the early seasons. You guys know it already. Plankton tries to ruin Krabs' business, and SpongeBob, a loyal employee of said business, doesn't like that. But you know, speaking of ruined businesses... Link in bio. Definitely not a positive relationship, although SpongeBob, being the kind-hearted soul that he is, does genuinely try to go out of his way to befriend Plankton. To little success, of course, because Plankton has no respect for him. Plankton in this era definitely mistakes kindness for weakness, and if you unironically think that way, you're a real-life supervillain. I don't know what to tell you. Speaking of villainy, in the first SpongeBob movie, Plankton frames Mr. Krabs for stealing King Neptune's crown, and the punishment for doing so is execution. SpongeBob, not wanting his boss to die, sets out to retrieve it and clear his name. As he does so, Plankton forces the town to worship him and sends an assassin after SpongeBob and Patrick, who are trying to prove Krabs' innocence and almost die doing so. This movie's actually really dark when you think about it. The only reason it's not is because it's SpongeBob. Anyway, I'm not going to go over the plot of this movie. I know you guys have watched it before, and if you haven't, go watch it. I'm just going to call attention to this scene in particular.
After all, what, you think this is a game of kickball on the playground? You never had a chance to defeat me, fool, and you know why?
Because you cheated?
No, not because I cheated, because I'm an evil genius, and you're just a kid. A stupid kid.
I guess you're right, Plankton. I am just a kid.
Of course I'm right. Okay, Neptune, time to kill.
And you know, I've been through a lot in the past 6 days, 5 minutes, 27.5 seconds, and if I've learned anything during that time, it's that you are who you are.
That's right. Okay, Neptune.
And no amount of mermaid magic, or managerial promotion, or some other third thing can make me anything more than what I really am inside. A kid.
That's great. Now get back against the wall.
But that's okay!
Right, what's going on?
Because I did what everyone said a kid couldn't do. I made it to Shell City, and I beat the Cyclops, and I rode the Hasselhoff, and I brought the crown back!
All right, we get the point.
So yeah, I'm a kid, and I'm also a goofball, and a wingnut, and a knucklehead mixed Nazatron!
What's going on here?
But most of all, I'm...
Easy, Take it easy. What the Stella? How goofy go back?
Like I've said, Plankton does not respect SpongeBob in the slightest, and this movie is about SpongeBob realizing that despite his childish ways, he is still capable of handling himself in an adult's world, and he embraces the fact that he is a kid at heart. So Plankton sees with his very own eye how wrong he was to underestimate SpongeBob. His ego was no match for SpongeBob's unrelenting optimism. There's no scene where Plankton actually sits with this fact or anything because this was actually Mr. Krabs' lesson to learn, but he still witnessed it. Now, this movie is technically the finale to the show. Like I said, it was supposed to end in 2004. But let's pretend that it took place between seasons 3 and 4. For the next 4.5 seasons, Plankton will continue to try and steal the formula and be foiled every time. And honestly, he still doesn't respect SpongeBob all that much. In season 6's single cell anniversary, he even tricks SpongeBob into helping him to find an anniversary gift for Karen, knowing that her gift to him is the formula.
Oh, the Krabby Patty formula!
Yes! You porous kitchen utensil! By helping me woo my computer wife, you've just doomed the Krusty Krab!
It doesn't work, by the way. Spoiler, I know. But all of this kind of comes to a head in the SpongeBob movie, too.
Commercial break!
First of all, this movie slaps. Do not try to argue with me. In this one, a live-action pirate called Burger Beard steals the formula through godlike intervention, and SpongeBob and Plankton have to get it back. And along the way, SpongeBob is trying to get Plankton to open up to him, learn to trust him, and is fully determined to befriend him. Kind of like in the episode Fun, but with higher stakes. See, Mr. Krabs has reason to believe that Plankton actually managed to steal the formula, and genuinely starts tweaking.
This is the last time I'm gonna ask you. Where is me formula?
I told you, Krabs, I don't have it.
Wrong answer.
You may want to step back a little, Mr. Krabs. This could get messy.
Let's hope so.
Aren't you overreacting a bit?
SpongeBob, having a strong sense of integrity, refuses to let Plankton go down for something he did not do. So now they're working together, and Plankton has to trust him. He struggles a bit at first, but he slowly starts to get the hang of it, and the two of them time travel back to the moment where the formula disappeared and bring it back to the present. Except Plankton's plan involved a decoy bottle, and they accidentally grabbed that one. And a Squidward T-Rex destroys the time machine so they can't go back and get another one. The two scream at each other, with Plankton swearing off teamwork and SpongeBob offering himself as a sacrifice to end the apocalypse. Before SpongeBob dies, they smell the Krabby Patties being made on land, and this is where we switch over to the CG stuff that was thoroughly ruined by the trailers, and is honestly where the movie starts to lose me. I'm just gonna brush by this part. All you need to know is that they battle Burger Beard, Plankton helps them out, and actually gives the formula back to Krabs, showing that he's finally realized the value of teamwork. It's cute. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about is the season 9 episode Plankton's Pet, which actually aired way before the movie came out, but fuck it. I said at the beginning that this video was unserious. This episode features Plankton deciding to get a pet because he doesn't really have all that much else going on. So SpongeBob helps him adopt a cute little amoeba named Spot, and when Spot gets lost, they both go looking for him. It's a very cute episode, not much more to say, and Spot even becomes a recurring character in future episodes. 2 seasons later, Spot has a bunch of puppies because amoebas are asexual. SpongeBob helps Plankton train the puppies, who then steal the secret formula, but luckily since SpongeBob is the one who trained them, he's able to get the upper hand. Also a nice episode. Do you see where I'm going with this?
You can have the first bite. Make it a small one.
Don't mind if I do.
At this point in the series, the relationship has evolved, where Plankton still tries to steal the formula, and SpongeBob still tries to foil him, but the relationship is not as malicious as it was in the earlier seasons.
Alright, it's true. I tricked you to get the Krabby Patty. But then you showed me friendship. And now I realize That's all I ever really wanted.
Really?
No, not really. Being evil is too much fun.
Darling, I know nothing Little cares about.
Just politely offer people free puppies, and they'll all be adopted in no time.
You there! I demand you take an amoeba puppy! These are purebred amoebas!
Hey, is this another plan to steal the secret formula?
Of course it is. And there's nothing you can do about it.
You'll never get away with this, Plankton!
Oh, but I will get away with this, Plankton. I mean, SpongeBob.
I think by season 11, it is safe to say that Plankton does like SpongeBob. Okay, so this episode kind of ruins my point. So apparently, Squidward hosts a club for people who can't stand SpongeBob to basically be like,
I'm the biggest hater. I hate the way that you walk, the way that you talk. I hate the way that you dress. I hate the way that you sneak this. If I catch flight, it's gonna be direct. We hate the bitches you fuck.
Plankton being a member kinda disproves my point, but I don't necessarily think this is bad writing or anything. The show is very episodic, and they tend to just do whatever they want if they can get a joke out of it. Honestly, I only mention it because I know I'm gonna get comments about it. By the way, this is the episode that this scene came from.
Johnny, without you, Mrs. Puff, I bet you can teach anyone.
Almost anyone.
Nice license. Can I touch it? Well, looks like you have an opening in your schedule, Mrs. Puff.
Besides, the episode Delivery to Monster Island totally makes up for it. SpongeBob delivers a Krabby Patty that Plankton stowed away in to the guy that lives 3 feet away from the Krusty Krab, but they accidentally end up on Monster Island. The two just kinda try to survive, slapstick ensues, and they even start a business together. I don't want to go into every single SpongeBob and Plankton episode because YouTube is not my entire life, but I wanted to point this one out in particular because of just how well they get along. Like, they're just dead-ass friends in this episode, aside from the occasional insult from Plankton. If this was your very first episode of the show, you would not know that Plankton and SpongeBob even ever were enemies. Like, these two are still rivals, but when push comes to shove, they can bring themselves to work together. And it feels like the arc that started all the way back in season 1 has finally been completed. And it seems like that's gonna be the status quo from here on out.